Hi there, I'm having my morning coffee. I've been working on the rig this morning from early dawn because it's light here at about 6 o'clock in the morning. Sun tracks from of course the east to the west, and after about, let's say, 1 o'clock it's gone over my building, so I cannot do any work then. That doesn't really coincide with the times that you have in the US if you like to control this thing live. For that I would have to be in the US, or somebody would have a rig like this in the US. But it's not really ready as a prototype because yesterday I've mounted these type of devices. This is a rotating resistor. Basically put this on the axis, and then when the axis turns, then this turns, and that influences the resistance of this device, and you measure the resistance with an analog to digital conversion input in your microcontroller. That sounds like very easy. There's two things that don't really work about it. One is that if you want to measure resistance of this thing, then of course the power over these two endpoints of the resistor have to be the same all the time, and that isn't the case because this device is switching and doing all kinds of stuff. And of course there's another one that's also drawing some power, so there's some noise there. And the other one is that as let's say the voltage value of this output ends up at the microcontroller, which is a value between 0 and 5 volt, ideally in my case 0 and 4.5 volt, it gets influenced by all the activity of the microcontroller, all the other activity that draws from the same power source. So usually what you want to do is to have a stabilized power source to run the ADC and do a lot of noise reduction things on it, and I haven't done that. What I've managed to do, so basically the readouts, what I wanted to achieve was to have on this website that I link to below is have a left gauge for the pitch, a middle gauge for the jaw, which would give accurate exact readings of the position in this direction and in this direction, so that you can, if you track the sun, that you can basically position it by telling it what the position should be. You want to calculate that in advance and then say, okay, like a servo, you say, okay, go to this position. It doesn't work too well. Only let's say the vertical axis reads out pretty stably, and that I've already calibrated that, and you can see that if you go to the web page. You can see it runs from 595 to 835, which gives it about what's that, 250 positions, which is quite precise over the range because it's only, let's say, 270 or 320 degrees of movement. That would allow it to, if you say, okay, go to position 600, then we'll go to position 600. That's achievable. Of course, you can also simply direct it through the website, going to left, go to the right. But the vertical axis, if I try to move that with the motor, then the readout is really, let's say, unreliable, and they influence each other. So that's not very good. There's a couple of solutions, as I already suggested. One is to stabilize it, one is to use, let's say, double servos. So, but that would mean that you use two microcontrollers that are independent with a stabilized power source on each axis, or three. That is one of my long-term projects. But the problem is that these small microcontrollers, the really small ones, cannot function as a I2C slave, which means that you could put them on a bus and send out data without, let's say you have two lines, and you use those two lines to simply send out the data of multiple of these devices, and you can read them out, every one of them, and be pretty accurate. That would be nice. You would basically have a servo independent of a geared motor, so you basically have a servo in two parts. That's one solution. The other solution is some intermediate chip in the rig. It's simply, I guess, the method is a little bit faulty and a little bit unreliable at the moment. What I'm talked about earlier is these decoder wheels or encoder wheels. I'm going to try that today. I'm going to make them. I'm going to print them on transparent sheets, cut them out, and then I have to devise a way to use LEDs to read them out. And if that works, then you would have a very precise measurement, but the control is completely different, so the control program becomes completely different. And I'm a little bit in doubt of what I want to achieve, because or basically what I would like to do is make a rig based on these things and make it work 100%, and then make it possible to switch from these things to rotary encoders, to Hall sensor encoders, which are even more interesting. And that's a lot of work. I cannot do that today, but I'll show you some results as soon as possible. I guess tomorrow I'll be working on it. So that's it. I can also demonstrate the light sensing solar tracking, because I still have this rig, which has a motor on the one end, and basically it's a one-axis tracker, which I described one can make with the PIC XA08M2 chip, which is really small, and I guess that's one of the other things that I can do. I'll make a schedule of what I want to do. I'm still looking for sponsors for this, because it's basically open source design. What I need is I need a router, because I don't have I cannot keep the demo computer online all the time, because I have my router broke down, and simply I need more stuff, and of course more responses, and of course I want to do the whole glass revolution thing. So in order to keep things going vis-a-vis the other stuff that I'm doing, I'll be working in the morning on this, and I'm also going to post a number of other videos that I think are about interesting topics, and keep you posted. Check out the website, and if you like it, let me know. If you want to have one of these rigs, so basically you want to invest in a kit which contains all the parts to build one, of course one that looks better than the one that you see on the webcam, because that's basically a prototype, then let me know. I'm gonna build another prototype which is for heliostats, because I still got these mirrors. You can see my desk. I made a big sun tracking heliostat. You cannot see it, but we're using these ones. So basically a Fresnel type, or not a Fresnel type, but parallel moving mirrors in a frame. It was a huge frame, and I also not really have the space to do this. Another idea is that I move this whole thing to France, where my family has a little farm, and where the sun does shine a lot, and where there's lots of room. And then I'll just do some experiments there and let you and broadcast or broadcast upload videos from there. That also requires a budget. So I'm asking for support and funding if you like it, and of course I'm making a log, making log pages, so information pages on this whole hacker activity, and I'll link to them below this video. So that's it for today. I hope you have a nice day, and check it out tomorrow, and the more you support this, the more time I'm able to spend on it. Thanks for listening.